You everybody, El Chefe, Nicole, and our guest today, Art Meza, Chicano Soul. If you don't know, you should give him a follow. But first, welcome back, Nicole.
Welcome back.
Thanks. I was
Yeah.
invited back.
Yeah.
You invited back?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
we
were
got.
kicked off? Or
Yeah, I was kicked. I was punished for
Yeah.
Her
two
punishment's
episodes.
over?
Yeah, I took the restraining order away from her.
Oh, that's good. Well, welcome back.
Thanks.
I'll behave.
Welcome, Art.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. I
Thank
know
you for
it's
having me
a
back.
it's a rarity to get
Oh,
you
I know.
behind the camera, in
Yeah.
front of the camera,
Yeah,
or
that's
behind
true.
the camera.
That's true.
Um,
Not a rarity to be here in the restaurant, but a rarity to be on this other
Yeah,
side of the lens.
that's a good. I'm gonna piggyback off that, you know,
Alright.
and we know
That's
that.
what you were meant to do. It's a
Yeah,
segue.
yeah. No pun intended with Piggy either.
Oh, nice
So
one.
yeah, I know you've been
Piggy
here.
Smalls, huh?
Yeah, recently with your sister and your mom.
Yeah, it's recent as yesterday.
There you, oh yeah,
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with the little Lowe's car, the cutout here. The food, we were here for the brunch.
Yeah, how'd you like it?
And we loved it. The menudo, had like bowl after bowl. It was like those old Total commercials, like 8 bowls. That's what I had, like a menudo.
It's not supposed to work out that way, but
But no, when you have a stomach like mine, yeah, it can. And cup after cup after cup of the cucumber water.
there you go.
That's how you do it.
All right.
That's not how they did it, but that's how I did it. Yeah, I was here Saturday. This is the 3rd day in a row.
Cool. Well, we got no
I'm
problem
gonna
having
apply.
you.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna apply to work here.
You're here every day on the wall.
Thank you. Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Dude, this is like the biggest thing. I mean, not the biggest wall, but it's a big deal to me. So
Of course.
I told you
yeah.
before, I appreciate it.
Oh,
Come
we-
in here and I told you my mom really appreciates this place. She enjoys coming here. Just stepping in, the music, the food, everything is familiar. I'm sure you get that a lot, from the patrons. But that's what she really enjoys: the food, the music. There's just the feeling of being at home. I told you the first time when I had the menudo and it came with the bolillo, I was like, whoa, who does that? Who outside of their home, what restaurant does that? You know what I mean? So I had that yesterday,
Cool, man.
still the same.
Glad we can do that. Glad we can do that. Yeah, we love having the picture. Actually, Nicole picked out this one because I showed her a couple and she was like, this one.
Because you're a hater, huh?
Yeah, you know.
Thank you.
I like the fact that it's you captured it and it wasn't set up. You can tell because there's people doing a photo shoot in the Riverwalk right there.
Yeah.
You got Huffer who's up on the building over there, and it's, as you can see in the picture, if you've been here to the restaurant, it's right after they blanked out the river.
The river.
The
yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah, whole whitewash.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because I had, did a bunch of prints and stuff like that, and I was vending one time, and this guy was about to buy the print. And he said no, he didn't want it. He changed his mind because he saw the people in the river. I don't know why that changed his mind, but
I tell people that's me.
I think it adds
me
to
and
it.
Carlos and you and Nicole is the model right there. So it's like we're just chilling. All right.
Yeah.
So
no, yeah. I walked up one day on the 4th Street Bridge, took my son with me, shot across to the 6th Street, and there it is. Now it's on the wall here.
there you go.
So
It's a pretty iconic picture too. I think people have bought prints. And
yeah,
put it
it's
in
one
City
of my
Hall,
favorites.
right? You have one in City Hall.
Yeah, it's actually part of the city of LA's fine art collection. As
Awesome.
a matter of fact, yeah. So
Watch
it's
out.
it's one of my favorites. Yeah,
All right.
it's
All
on
right.
the list.
What you got?
What you got? You got questions?
No.
Oh, okay. Next. Is it done? Are we done?
I wanted to know where it came from because I remember when I first saw you, was it like in West Covina maybe? You popped up on my popular feed, and I know Rick had followed you, and what I remember about you is the mug with the little Mexican band. That's how I remember you, or that's how I
Oh, the trio.
recognize you.
The trio.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
trio.
Yeah.
And that's how I was like, oh, and then I went to your website and stuff, and that's how I knew who you were, but I don't know your story, or how did it start?
It started like a lot of photographers start these days. Instagram. It's so easy to. At the time that I started, I think it was maybe 2013, maybe 2012. I had an iPod. You go to car shows and stuff, take pictures. Wait till you get somewhere that has Wi-Fi. You upload them to Instagram, right? And family and friends supported what I was doing, encouraged me. I had no photography training, never took classes, didn't grow up with a camera in my hand, nothing like that. But with the encouragement to just keep going is what I did. A friend of mine is an independent book publisher out in Florida, and he caught on to what I was doing, and he said, hey, you know what, I want to put a book together with your photography, and then I'm going to get people to submit short stories, essays, poems, poetry on low writing culture. And we came up with the idea we're going to call it low writing, low writing. So I said, man, that's cool. Never had an opportunity like that. Didn't expect one. And so I figured I had to hustle from that point, get my name out there ahead of the book. The book was maybe 9 months away, And at that same time, Noel from Mi Vida Boutique invited me to do my first solo show, 2013. And I took it. I didn't have much under my belt at that time as far as, photography, but I figured, I better take this opportunity to do the show, try to get my name out there, and been hustling since.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So so anybody can do it. You got Instagram. That's all you need. Anybody can be a photographer. Anybody can capture, and it doesn't matter what you shoot with, what kind of equipment you have, your phone, whatever. A photograph is a photograph. So it's like if I could do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah, I saw that picture you took of the brass chongo.
Yeah.
The brass chongo.
Yeah.
And that was looked like it was a setup photo
shoot. It was
shoot.
just, it's my phone and some editing. Nothing fancy.
And our
I'm not talking about the drink. The drink's fancy. It's fancy as hell. But
it's our take on Brass Monkey.
Yes, sir.
So we do Tampico.
That funky monkey.
And asadito.
Well, sometimes they come without it.
Yeah.
I've experienced that.
Right.
I didn't want to bring that up.
Shout out to Jen.
Actually, I did.
So,
Who are we shouting out?
Jen, the bartender. So,
thank you, Jen. I expect 2 next time.
Yeah, I wanna talk a little bit more about some of the shoots you did. Nicole had mentioned the trio, and what caught my eye about that shot is the nostalgia of them playing at a cruise, but then on the bridge also it's Nela.
Yeah.
And that's where I was born and raised in Nela, Nicole Islos, but
yeah, I think that adds so much to it.
It does add a lot to it, but what I'd like to what that picture told me is because probably been asked the question, a million times, are the owners from East LA? Why East LA? Why Whittier? Why Cesar Chavez? We have the Cesar Chavez street sign. Why 6th Street? Well, 6th Street isn't in East Los,
Mm-hmm.
It connects the two,
how
it was a thoroughfare for many
years.
people to go to work, even the Jewish community that was Boyle Heights before.
Right.
But what I got from that picture is you have low riding, you have musicos, and then you have the bridge, and you have Nela.
And then you got the father and a daughter. So you got the generations.
Everything's in that picture, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't say nowhere on anybody's clothing does it say I'm from East LA, I'm from Boyle Heights, I'm from Nela.
But you get that.
It's all together.
Yeah.
So no matter where you're from, San Fernando Valley, we try to share that message with Nicole, and I get a little frustrated with it in the beginning, but now we're used to it, and we're just it's not about East LA. It's
about the culture.
It's a culture. So you have people who live in San Fernando Valley,
right?
Like Carlos, Shout out to Carlos Ponce.
Oh, I like that guy.
Yeah.
Been a fan of his for a long time. No, I've been a fan of Carlos for a long time.
Have you seen him slam dunk?
No.
Yeah,
what?
he could slam dunk some tacos in
I was
no
gonna
time.
say some cookies or something.
But he's in the valley, but he'll drive out to Whittier Boulevard to get some flicas. Yourself, you're not in East Los, but you'll come from wherever you're at to catch some flicas.
Right.
And it centralized off of East Los. Boulevard Nights filmed on Whittier Boulevard.
Right.
Memories of cruising Whittier, all the way up to what is that Pico Rivera, right? Tommy's. So that's not East LA. So it's everywhere. That's what we try and share. And with that picture, it showed it's everywhere. And some of your other pictures, not all your pictures are in East LA.
No.
You have the American Pie one that's on the bridge.
It's on the 6th Street Bridge. Yeah.
That's a cool shot right there.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite shots. It's just like a timeless, candid shot. Just dudes hanging out, just enjoying each other's company, the conversations, the ride. I think it's a 48 Fleet Line, and taken at a time and a place that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's gone.
The bridge is gone. You can't get it back, and that's what I like about photography in general. It's just documenting the then and now to tell stories for, and it just captures a moment, freezes it forever.
Yeah, and it was weird.
Like that one.
It was weird because we were there the other day, right? And you're like, oh, what's that? And I was like, that was the 6th Street Bridge.
That was there, yeah. That was the bridge.
It was just weird.
And then the cool thing about the one you were talking about is, I got to give a shout out to David Novello. At the cruises and stuff like that, you got one car. It's always been like you got one car with the system all loud, and then you got the next car with the system even louder, and then the next one's louder. But David pays for this trio to show up, changes the game up, you know what I'm saying? And it just brings this whole different vibe. And I just knew that I had to capture that. When you mentioned things like Huffer in this, I didn't notice that until later. One time I was at a show, and Huffer is at that show, and he points it out to me. And he's like, "Hey man, that's my piece right there up on that train car or something," you know. So the same thing with Anela. I didn't catch it till after, but it adds so much to it, you know. So it's just like a moment that, you know, doesn't exist anymore.
Right. And it's just like Huffer is the tag, you know, that get up right there stands out because the rest of the walk is blank.
Right. And I told him, I said, "You know what, dude? I just got your piece into City Hall. You know, I didn't know that I did, but I just smuggled it right in. Right, I just smuggled it right in. So now you get some graffiti up in there, in the mayor's office. So that was pretty good. And at that time, when that came about, I had no idea. I was just still so new to photography. Right. I had no idea about printing. I was ready to go print at Office Depot. You know, they wanted it in print. I had no idea about that. My framer was just starting his own business. Shout out to Frame Monster. And he says, "No, man, you can't do it like that. You got to get like an archival. You got to do it right, you know." So we did a 16 by 20 inch print. He helped me out with, I believe it was a 24 by 28 inch frame. Heavy ass mofo, you know. And we had it shipped there. No way they were gonna miss it. About a month and a half later, the mayor posts a photo of him holding the frame.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was in there in City Hall. But a year and a half after that is when I went to a hearing where they voted it into the fine art collection.
Man,
I was like, yeah, so thank you. So I was like, you know, from Instagram, you could have a lot of fun, you know.
Oh, thank you for repping Chicano movement and culture, cultura. So, yeah. What else? What other question you got for this gentleman right here?
For this gentleman here?
My bad.
Yeah, I've been called worse. It's all good.
I don't know.
Okay, next.
So one of the speaking on some of your famous, you know, flicas, you got one with the bandera on top of a famous guy.
Yeah.
It's a funny guy, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I think that's one of your favorite shots, right?
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, it goes back to like me when I was a kid. I was just so outspoken. I was just like, you know, I was never afraid to ask for things, to talk about things, to just, you know, throw things out there, and if they stick, they stick, you know. So one time on Twitter, I threw it out to George Lopez, and I said, "Hey, when are you gonna let me shoot your 51?" You know, if he didn't answer, he didn't answer. But it was the same thing with the mayor. "Hey, I'd like to get a photo into City Hall," you know. So with George, he says, "Come down to my golf tournament May 4th. It's like, oh shit, you know. So now I got this pressure, you know. So I show up there. I had 30 minutes with the car. I take a little step stool because that's the shot that I wanted. I wanted the Mexican flag on top of his the 51 Chevy. Took a little step stool, did my thing, got a few shots, went home, edited, and then it's like when you get home, that's when you find out what you really have. You know, you can see sometimes you see on the LCD, or you know. But I get home, I'm like, that's it. Start editing it up. Perfect. You know, I mean, I got what I wanted.
Clean shots.
Yeah, clean shots. Well, I mean, sometimes you only get a few. Sometimes you can shoot a lot and you only get like a few, but hopefully you're happy with those, you know. So I was really happy with this one. And then later on, we turned it into a limited edition set. And I had to pay for all these prints up front. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull it off. He offered to sign the 25 prints.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we ended up doing, I think, 20% or 25% went back to his foundation. You know, so we raised a couple $1,000. You know, yeah, it was. I think it was about $1,000, but it was cool. You know, to have that opportunity to do that, for him to take the time to sign them all. He signed them, I signed them. They were all numbered. They all came with a certificate, and it was real cool, man. That was a cool
I like
experience.
that shot because when you went up, put your pieces up in West Covina, our first location, that was one that you had there, and you were telling me the story about it. You know, and it's really cool. You know, to work with El Más Chingón and Chicano Soul.
He was real supportive. Another time, it was around that time he invited me to one of his shows to sell my book, to sell copies. You know, he says, "I'll sign 10 copies of your book. We'll put them at the merch table, and good luck." You know, he also gave me some VIP passes that night to the show. We took the books to the merch table. I was like, dude, I got VIP passes. I'm not gonna miss the show. Went to the show. I was like third row. You know, sitting in the dressing room. You got celebrities walking around. You know, like, how did I end up here? You know, but he was real cool, real supportive. Went to the show. I had been to a show of his like 10 years prior. You know, the material is similar, but it was like brand new. It was funny as hell. I'm laughing my ass off. And that was probably one of the best experiences you know, so far just to like, how did I end up here?
Yeah.
You know, it was real cool. Shout out to George Lopez, man.
Yeah, cool, man. What else you got? What do you got there?
I want to know some of your roadblocks that you face in the industry and how you overcame them.
Well, you know what? To be honest, I don't believe that I've hit many roadblocks as far as like the industry, and I think that's just because I go at my own pace. I don't. Maybe it sounds bad, but I don't set like huge goals. I just do my thing, and whatever that is, it is what it is. You know, I go out and shoot. I've been taking it easy the last maybe about the last year and a half. So this year I've been telling myself to just get out there more, get to more shows, you know, maybe pick up more exhibits and stuff like that. But I think if you just go at your own pace and just have fun with it, you don't hit those roadblocks. Like I'm not out there, people aren't denying me things, you know, and I'm just having fun with it. And I think that's where a lot of people mess up. A lot of people take it as competition,
Yeah.
you know, and it shouldn't be, you know, and that's a huge turnoff because I've seen people talk down on others. You know, and you're all just doing your thing.
It's the same in the industry here.
There's room.
You know,
There's room for everybody.
There's room for everybody. Everybody can get a piece of the pie, you know, and
there's billions of dollars out there to be made. You know?
right. So why not? You know, everybody can just get their own. You know,
Make them together.
right. So I don't face many obstacles as far as, you know, like people aren't taking things from me, and I'm not taking anything from anyone else. I'm just out there doing my thing, having fun. You know, and I think that's what it should be.
Yeah, you got it, brother. Right? I hear you, and you know, it's good. We're transitioning good because you're speaking on that, and you brought up your book. You know, Nicole and I deal with people on Yelp, Yelp, and you know, Instagram. They're gonna beat you
You
up.
can say fuck you, right?
Yeah, fuck Yelp.
Okay.
He
I
doesn't
love you,
cuss.
Instagram.
I do.
I'm trying not to cuss, man. I'm trying not to
She
cuss.
gets all
Sorry,
of it.
people. But you know, oh, it's overpriced. It's, you know, $10 for 3 tacos, and you know, and so I can relate to what he's saying. And the question for you is, do you run into that too?
No, I get the opposite. I get a lot of people telling me, man, you gotta raise your prices. Your prices are so low. And the funny thing is, the people who tell me that never buy anything. So it's like, if they were so low, like, why aren't you buying them? You know, but they're like, you gotta raise your prices. You gotta raise your prices. I know how much I pay for the print. I know how much I pay for the framing. I know how much, you know, I want to say my time is worth, all that stuff, and I come up with a price. I want people to own my photography. I want people to have it in their home and tell me, like, oh man, it reminds me of home. People who are maybe living out of state, out of country, but it reminds them because they grew up in Nella, you know, or they grew up, you know, in East LA or something like that. But so I want people to own it. I want it to be accessible, and I don't need to raise prices all crazy. If it's something where it's like a custom frame and it's a large print, something like that, yeah, the price will go up. But for the most part, I want people to be able to own it. You know, don't keep it out of their reach. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I do notice that sometimes the higher price pieces go to, you know, maybe white people or collectors, yeah, serious collectors. But I try to do my best to keep it where it's within reach for everybody.
Different genres of people. Like
right,
different
and they're different sizes and different
base,
options, you know?
Yeah.
So they can get framed, they can get unframed, they can get, you know, sometimes I like to do like custom frames, things I like. It might sit for a while, you know, finally it might move or whatever. But I always change it up, and there are always options for everybody, you know, different sizes and stuff. So everybody can own one if they want.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I mean, how did you when you do come across someone that says, man, you know, like, I'm not gonna pay that, you know, like, how do you address that? Do you even address it? Do you leave it alone?
You know what? It probably depends on how rude they were. If they were to tell me that, like, but most of the time I just leave it. You know, like, if you're not gonna pick it up, if it's too expensive for you, then that's your opinion. You know, it is what it is. Somebody else will pick it up later because someone else later is gonna see that it's a good deal. You know, so like the larger pieces that I have right now, they're like 2 feet by 3 feet inch prints with frames and stuff, $400. You know, maybe more if it's a nicer frame, but I think that's reasonable. You know, I think that's a good deal. Like I said, I know how much I pay for the frames, the prints, they're archival, you know, and stuff like that. So I think it's a good deal.
Hey, wait a minute. I just bought that picture you took of Placito Vera. I didn't get a frame.
Oh, you went the cheap route. I try to keep the price down for you. Cheapskate.
You didn't choose that, okay?
Yeah,
you didn't choose it on.
I think I got it on Black Friday. So,
Brown Thursday.
Yeah, Brown Thursday. Yeah. Roadblocks. They're everywhere, you know, on everybody's path, you know, whether it's a negative, you know, remark on social media, or if it's, you know, I don't know, just someone, like I said, on Yelp, or just different things. There's all roadblocks.
I don't think I've experienced many.
Really?
No, I don't think so. I think I've been fortunate to meet good people, to make good relationships the last 5 years or so that I've been doing this. I think I have the attitude where I like to help people. So I'm one of those, and I've met some good people that are just like-minded, you know, where they reach out to me, they're willing to share their connections on this, or their printers, or whatever they use. I do the same. I don't have a negative attitude where I'm like I said, where I'm trying to compete with anybody. I do my thing, and it is what it is. People reach out to me for advice, I'm happy to give it. You know, whatever I know, I'm happy to share it, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't really see anybody getting in my way. I'm just doing my thing.
Have you ever had anybody question your willingness to help? Like,
no, I don't think, not to my face. Yeah, no, not to my face.
Carlos, now's your chance.
No, I'm happy to help, you know, and
that's good.
Yeah, whatever it is, if I know, I'll help you, you know, like, what is it going to take away from me? Yeah. It's not, you know, so no, I'm happy to help.
Cool. See, I'm looking at.
You want to know about photography? Like,
yeah, like, I mean, I just want to know, I'm going to dig into your brain, like, you got guys that, like you work with Ponce, and, you know, he's got his style, and you got your style, and Erwin, you know, spoke highly of you, and, you know, he's got his style, and, you know, it just, what gives you your style? Like, what do you think is, like, when you look through the lens, what do you see, you know, or what do you look for, like, you're walking with your camera, like, oh.
You know, I really don't know. You know, and that's probably a bad answer, but
no.
I think when you see something, you know what you want to grab, and you can't really describe it. I'm sure Carlos has the same answer. I've been a fan of Carlos for a long time. Carlos' stuff has always been next level stuff. It has always been like, the way I see it, has always been like thought out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Whereas mine, it's like I'm walking by and it's more like street. It's there. I'll try to grab it. You know, so like the one you were talking about, American as Apple Pie, the guys on the bridge. I'm still surprised that I was fast enough to grab it. You know, and then that's like one of my favorite shots. But Erwin's another one where his stuff is like. His stuff is real precise, you know, and he shoots film, which is a lot of respect for anybody who shoots film. His candids and stuff, like, they're always nice shots. Carlos, like I said, is just looked to be like real thought out.
Yeah, this guy will have 3 cameras around his neck at one time and running a drone. You know?
Yeah, at the same time, the drone's carrying another couple cameras. I mean, there are some guys that, you know, have some real great imagination and creativity. You know, and then there are others that look like they don't even edit, but they post them up, and that's their thing. Yeah. You know, but I remember a photographer said one time where photography is like a dance floor. You put everybody out there, and you can tell who can dance and who can't dance. You know, but everybody is out there doing their thing just the same. You know, so it's not a competition. It's just everyone's got a different story to tell, and it's kind of like a coloring book where it starts off blank, but everybody puts their own flavor on it, their own. You know, their own style, you know. Yeah,
that's kind of like our concept here. You know, we put our.
Which one of you can dance, or?
Well, I'm a dancer. You know.
She's the colorer.
She's just the sideline commentator.
Like, laughing all the time.
That's your laughing at me. That's what she does. Puts me on Snapchat. So. No, but I mean, we put our flavor. There's a story behind our restaurant. You know, our brand. You know, and we're passionate about it, just like you guys are passionate about your.
Yeah, because that's what you want. That's what you want people to talk about. Like, I know your brand because of this. Your brand makes me feel like this. You know, I've been getting that lately where people are like, I can immediately identify. If I see your photo, I know it's yours. You know, and sometimes I'm looking through photos. I'm like, wait, is that mine? You know, I don't even know. You know, but they tell me like, I immediately recognize it because something I put into it or something. You know, that it's familiar to them. You know, and I think that's what you want. You want your stuff to stand out with no watermarks. but you want them to know like, oh, that must be this person.
Yeah, like
you know,
that picture you took of the brass chango.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I took a couple of those.
You know, like, Carlos reposted it right away. Like, bam, I'm gonna post this up. You know.
Yeah.
And you know that just shows me because you know Carlos is like our brand ambassador. He's our he does our me and him do social marketing, but for him to take another photographer's picture and post it up on our our handle. It's like shows me the level of respect, shows us the level of respect he has for you. You know.
Thank you. No, I think you should have that. I'm not saying Carlos should have respect for me. I'm saying that you should.
That's exactly what you just said.
No, I'm saying like you should be able to just be honest and say like, damn, that's a good shot. You know, like to anybody, and you know, not everybody does that, but it's like if you see a good shot, it's a good shot. You know, so I think that's just being honest and having that mutual respect. You know.
Yeah.
But
that's cool. Cool. Carlos, how we doing on time? We good? All right.
You want to just sit here? It's like 2-minute warning.
We'll just listen to the Sam Cooke right now. Yeah. So what's one of your favorite things about the restaurant? What do you like to what
Okay, so
captures you besides your own picture? Don't get big headed.
No. Well, yeah, even at the other location at the West Covina, you know, the first thing that grabbed me, like I told you before, was the menudo with the bolillo. You know, that's something we used to do when we were kids. We're gonna have menudo, well, we gotta go to the bakery. You know, we gotta go get a whole dozen bolillos. So the first time I had it, the menudo at the last location, and it came with bolillo, I was like, this is cool. You know, like who does that? I couldn't think of another restaurant that did that. You know, and I think that's something small like that you're talking about the Nella in the photo. It's equivalent because it's like that's what makes it like home. You know, that's what makes it familiar. So when I bring my mom in here, she hears the music, stuff that she grew up with. You know, it's familiar to her. The food is familiar. The menudo is really good. You know, the drinks and everything that's creative and it's your own flavor. That's something that you want people to take back with them. Like, I'm gonna go there because that's not like the restaurant down the street.
Yeah.
You know, so. The first one that I tried, I think, was a homie burrito. I was stuck on that for a while. And then I came on a Sunday with the menudo. So if I'm here on a Sunday, that's what it's going to be. The cucumber water has been my go-to, unless I'm here on a Saturday night or a Sunday midday, and then I'll go with the brass chango.
Brass chango.
Yeah.
All right.
More
What
music.
was that?
So I got another question for you. You know.
You said 4.
What year did you graduate high school? 92?
97.
97?
1997.
Damn,
yeah.
I'm older than you?
I guess so. If you graduated in 92. Yeah. Shout out to Roosevelt High School.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where's that at? Is that a
Heights,
continuation?
Man. No, sir. Not. Yeah. Well, they did have one. But
I went to Harvard on the Hill.
I was
Wilson.
born in '87.
Harvard on the Hill. Where's that? Wilson. Yeah.
I'm a burro.
Mule, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, so where'd you
Rough
go?
Rider.
So I was born in '87.
I know, but where'd you go? No, you're a baby. Yeah, you know.
Garfield.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let's get over here.
You can sit over there with the burro.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. See, I knew you would want it.
No.
So,
No harm there.
when you come in and you hear the oldies, I know it's out of our era, but it's still what we grew
It's
up
what
on.
you grew up in your home.
Standing
yeah.
on your mom's feet, dancing with her, you know.
Yeah.
Where does it take you? Like, when you hear is there a song?
Oh, there are a few songs. The other day I was here and there was it was like a heavy Joe Bataan rotation. You know, my dad used to listen to a lot of Joe B. You know, Ralphie, a lot of good stuff. You know, and my parents held a lot of parties when I was a kid, and every time he held a party, he had to go to the record shop, pick up some new stuff. You know, some Kool in the Gang, some Michael Jackson, some Earth, Wind and Fire, a lot of Motown. They had a lot of good music going on. My mom was into Tina Marie. You know, so you come in here, you hear like the Delphonics and stuff. It's home. You know, it's just another element. You know, like you picked a lot of good elements here to remind people, you know, and just to like make them feel at home. You know, you got the street signs, you got the bridge, you got, different. You got Whittier Boulevard. It's gonna relate with somebody. You know, so I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's one of the cool things about being here. You know.
And you brought up Joe Bataan.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joe.
Yes.
He had his birthday party here.
I saw that.
Small celebration, and he loved your picture.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's an honor, man.
But yeah, I mean, it just, you're right. Like I was telling Nicole, like, you know, she was born in '87, so you know, she doesn't know what an 8-track is.
What's an 8-track?
Yeah.
Is that like after the 7 track?
Yeah.
Came after?
It's on the CD, number 8. You
That's
know,
8
so,
track.
but yeah, I was telling her, like, my grandma had in the living room this huge, it looked like a dresser. But you open the top, and there's a record player, there's a radio.
The AM, FM.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that is.
Yes, I do.
And then you slide the front open, the TV was right there with the vice grips to change the channel.
Yeah.
You know? And then after a while, you had the TV on the bottom for the sound and the TV on top for the picture. You know, so it was just, but I was telling
it's
her,
a
like,
big old unit, you know?
Saturday morning, you wake up to roasting chiles, you know, smell in the air.
Oh no! I woke up to getting yelled at to clean.
Clean.
Yeah, all
Saturday
Saturday you're
morning,
cleaning
yeah.
shit. And those memes where they, as soon as you sit down, they're yelling at you again. That was me.
Well, I was the
Oh
first.
my god, I have some memes that sorry, speaking of memes, that I had a screenshot and I send them to my mom because it is so funny.
The one where they're talking about, you know, when mom gets home with the groceries or whatever,
Oh,
you
this
just
one.
you grab whatever.
Yeah, you grab
that's
one of her
accurate.
shoes.
Oh,
You run out wearing, you know,
my
one
God.
event, you're like, that's accurate, you know?
Yeah. I got, you know, I just.
Or this one, where it says Latina moms swear that these are the reason why you get sick in the first place.
Yeah.
The wet hair,
You
being
went out.
barefoot.
Yeah.
And that's still like, my suegra lives with us, and you know, I love my suegra. You know, people are jealous of they're like, man, you guys get along like that? Like, we'll have our own, you know, what's that show with Nick Cannon?
Wild 'N Out?
Wild 'N Out.
You're like roasting each other?
Yeah,
or-
we just roast each other.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
All day, every
All
day.
day long, man. You know, but you know, recently she was sick and she had to stay overnight at the hospital, and Nicole was sick. Her sister was sick, and so I spent the night with her, you know, at the hospital. So she wasn't alone. I got love like that, you know. So, you
Late
know,
night
it just
roast session.
yeah, man. But I was just talking shit to her the whole night.
Oh,
you know,
man.
like you better never forget this. You owe me for life now. You know, like I
That's
was
kind of like me and my grandma, but she talked shit to me the whole time.
Yes, that's where I was going with this. Yeah,
Oh,
share that, please.
And I
You
love
and your
it.
face.
And I love it because, you know, now, you know, I was talking to somebody asked me, oh, how's your grandma doing? And she's a lot older, right, than when I was a kid, but she's still got the same, she's still sharp, you know, she's still funny. And I got to record some more stuff because, you know, I'll talk to her, she'll compliment me, she'll take it back like that. You know, she'll compliment one thing. And so that one time, I don't know if you saw the video,
Yeah.
she's like, oh, mijo, your skin is so soft. And then she's like, what size waist are you, 62? I was like, fuck, you know? So she's still funny as hell, you know? And I love it. And, you know, so I look at her great-grandkids, my nieces and nephew. I'm like, man, you guys have no idea how blessed you are to experience this lady. You know, she lives with my mom, and she's like, you guys have her here every day. You know, in the 80s, she was mean. You know, she was strict. You know, and now she's apologizing for it all. You know, I'm sorry, mijo, I was so, you know, but it was
right?
cool. You know,
Yeah.
I have no problem. Like, I loved it. You
Now
know,
they're
because-
memes.
Now they're memes. Yeah, grandma, you're a meme. You know, I told her I was coming over here. She's like, you're famous, man. I was like, no, I'm not famous, grandma.
You are, bro. You're famous. You're
So,
famous.
she's
No, I
funny.
was raised by my grandma,
Uh-huh.
and I tell everybody that my grandma put the G in grandma. You know?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like, she paid off 2 houses on her own. You know,
Oh, my grandma doesn't even
she
drive.
dealt with us. You know,
Mhm.
she dealt with me and my pendejadas as a youngster. You know, and I was telling Nicole the other day. I don't know why we were talking about Juvie Hall, but I was like, man, Juvenile Hall, that was crazy, you know. And
I wouldn't.
I can still hear my grandma because I got arrested by Hollenbach Division, so I can hear my grandma arguing with the officer that
nice.
arrested me.
She's about to get
Not my
arrested, too."
Ricky, you know, he didn't
Yeah.
do that, and you're crazy. You guys are stupid, and I'm like,
Hey, grandma, you're about to join me in here.
you ain't helping.
No.
But yeah, my grandma, you know, you're right. Like they're blessed. You know, like I tell our daughter Delilah, like, you know, you got grandma with us. Like that's awesome. You know,
Yeah.
like enjoy it, cherish it, and she does. You know, she loves her grandma.
Yeah.
And Nicole is just like. As much as she hates to admit it.
Oh my
she's
God! Why
like
are we
this
getting
spitting
personal?
image of her,
Well,
you
I
know,
don't.
like-
I know.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
weren't supposed to get personal.
But no. I'm just saying, like, you know, when you have that family, you have the different generations. It's awesome.
Right.
You know,
I
because
gave
there's stories to tell.
I gave one of my nieces one of my cameras, and I said, you know what? You're here with your great grandma, you know, and you're here with your grandma every day. Document stuff. You know that's important. You know, later on you're gonna wish you did. I mean, I spent some times with my great grandparents, and then they passed away in the early '90s or something like that. I wasn't really close to them, but these kids live with their great grandma. You know, document them, take pictures, you know, ask them questions, get all these stories out of them while you can, you know, and spend some good time with them. Just get to know them. If not for yourself, you know, for your siblings and for your kids and for future generations. I'm a real, you know, I'm really into that, you know, family history and stuff like that. And even with the photography, it's just documenting like this whole idea of we were here at one time. The bridge was here at one time. It's no longer there, and we're no longer going to be here, you know, at one time. But our stories should be shared, and they could be shared, you know, for future generations.
Very true. True. Yeah, that's man. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
I don't think you could either.
No,
that was pretty
that's why
good.
we got you. You're
Yeah.
famous. Eh?
No, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I can repeat that though.
What you got?
I think it's your turn.
My turn?
Yeah.
I want to know what.
Obstacles?
No. We went over that twice. What you're proud of this far? Because I know, you know, you still got. This is not the end, so.
No,
just
I hope
this
it's not
far.
the end. No, you know what? I feel like I've never been really good at one thing, and I kind of feel like with photography, like I found my niche. I'm having fun with it, so there's no pressure, really. I think that, you know, when you talk about like legacy and stuff like that, which we haven't yet, but when you talk about like stuff that you're gonna leave behind for your kids, you know, hopefully they're happy with what I'm leaving them. You know, photos of themselves. You know, my mom has moved a lot, and she lost a lot of my photos when I was younger. So, but now you got phones on, you got cameras on everything. You know, so if I could leave that stuff for my kids, you know, so aside of being proud of them, but to leave them their story, you know, that'd be a big deal to me. You know, I've got a 3-year-old, I got a 19-year-old, and I just want to leave something for them that they might appreciate. Right now, I'm the annoying dad with the camera in their face.
Yeah.
Get away. Even my 3-year-old, sometimes she hams it up, sometimes she's like, no, I don't want to, you know.
Shout out to Sophie.
Shout out to Sophie, I love you. But hopefully they appreciate it later. You know, and that's all you can hope for. And it'll be there if they want it. All these other images will be there long after I'm gone. You know, it's just frozen moments in time.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because, you know, you take pictures of Sophie and, you know, you go from one frame to the next, and in one frame she's like, and the next frame she's like, you know, and your son just bought a car, right? And then, you know, you see him, he's like, yeah. And the next picture he's like,
yeah, with my son, he doesn't even allow me to tag him in things, you know, and I'm like, all right, cool.
He doesn't know how cool you are.
Yeah, I'm not cool to them, but it's okay. No, with her, like I said, sometimes she'll ham it up. I got stuff on my phone that I haven't posted yet. Her dancing, she was singing Boogie Nights. Yeah, and they're like, how do you even know that song?
Yeah.
You know, but she's singing. I'll probably post that up later. And she's dancing to it, and she's like, you know, I don't even know the words, but she's singing Boogie Nights. You know, it's like, oh damn, you know. So she hams it up. I love her. Yeah.
Awesome. What like we were just talking about a mutual friend, Bill Esparza.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I gotta hang out with Bill more.
Yeah, he introduced you to like the foodie scene, or did?
Yeah, I'm not really a foodie, but he did introduce me to some good stuff, and you know, just following him. I mean, you see all the stuff that he posted. It's like interesting. Octopus, you know, maybe some oysters, or maybe some, you know, birria or something. Like just, it's never like just regular stuff. It's always.
Yeah, he can post like, oh, today I'm having, you know, a bean and cheese burrito from Alan B's, you know.
But the way it's you know, or like the octopus, you know. And it's just the way it's prepared. It's like, how do you know all these people? How do you know all these restaurants?
He knows all the good spots.
You know, yeah, and it and just like underground spots, you know, backyard cooking and stuff like that. Like, how do you know all this stuff? You know, but I'd love to hang out with him. Hit some of the travel, you know, places that he goes to. It's interesting food.
Shout out to Bill Esparza.
Bill Esparza. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Real quick before I forget, we talked about your Instagram and all that stuff. And just you want to shout out your handle so people can follow you if they don't already. Because if you don't, you're not cool. But if you do.
Yeah, if you do, thank you for following. Yeah.
Carlos don't follow you.
She just unfollowed right now. She's like, I'd rather not be cool. No, it's Chicano _soul. CHICANO _SOUL. Is that how you spell it?
Shoot him a follow.
I like your hat. Let's talk about your hat.
Let's talk about it. Consafos or Chicano Soul?
It could be whatever you want.
Or both.
A friend of mine in El Paso uses it for Culture Shop. Oh. His store in El Paso. So, you know, see, another friend of mine uses it, her initials, Cristina Sanchez.
Yeah.
So, it could be whatever you want to be.
I use it con salsa.
There you go. There you go. You know, there's no wrong answer.
Yeah. All right. I like the hat. You get the merch at, you know,
Chicanosoul.net.
Yeah.
That's where you pick it up. Or follow me on Instagram. You can see the link in the bio.
And for the ladies?
Chicano Soul.
Chicano Soul.
We just brought back some bracelets, some gold acrylic bracelets that
Yeah.
we're doing. So people had been asking about them. We re-released them, some baseball tees, some other T-shirts.
I saw that.
Yeah, I was taking it easy all last year, and some like health reasons and stuff like that. But now it's kind of like gotta hustle. Circumstances change and all, and now it's time to get back out and just do my thing.
As you should.
Yeah, so trying to get back out there, trying to get to more shows. If you haven't seen me at shows, hopefully you will, and I won't get in your way. But that's the cool thing too about going to shows and then being in this like for maybe 5 years now, is the friendships that you make. I wanted to mention that, like, you go to shows at the beginning, you don't really know anybody. You just go in there, you do your thing. You start to meet people. Those people start having kids. Within the last 5 years, I had Sophie. So somebody told me at I think it was in Pomona at the Grand Nationals, oh, your baby's getting so big now. Like, they've seen her grow, from even before she was born, Now she's 3. And you make these friendships, these relationships that and people become family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we've known each other for a few years now, and it's been real cool, So I appreciate that aspect of it. The lowrider community is like really family based.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't give that. They don't notice that, or they don't want to admit that.
No,
but it is.
And because I think it's the way the media, portrays us. Thank you. I had a brain fart there.
That's right.
And that had a big part with, Carlos, Nicole, and I. We work with Fairplex, and we do En Memoria in October, which is a Dia de los Muertos lowrider show. Well, this year we're changing it up, and it's just going to be a lowrider Kaile, like cruise over. If you got a patina car, whatever you got, Kaile.
Yeah,
and
get involved.
It took some red tape to get through, because in '92 there was a big riot at Fairplex, and that's how they portrayed us since then. And here we are, our 3rd year. So 2016 they still saw us as the guys in '92, And now, like you said, these guys got $100,000 cars. They don't want no fight around their car. They got kids.
Yeah.
That lowrider has a car seat in it now. So.
Right.
It's all family oriented.
Yeah,
like
I've seen that.
And that's what we are here. We're we love that. Like, bring the kids. The kids are running around and jumping on Carlos's little lowrider. Yeah.
I was in there yesterday. They were telling me to get out of there.
Jumping. I know.
Yeah,
I had to
told
tell
me.
you stop.
Yeah, they're like, knock that shit
You were
off.
drinking and driving.
Yeah. But we get, we get a lot of calls. Oh, do you guys allow kids? Oh, do you guys, is it 21 and over? Can I bring the kids? And it's like, what? No. Like, of course you can bring the kids.
Yeah. Sometimes the kids act better than the adults.
No, but the fundraisers and the events that you guys do also are real family oriented too. So that's a big deal. Always, you guys are always helping out and.
Gotta give back.
Yeah.
Gotta give back. Like you said, we do like the tree giveaway, Christmas tree giveaway, turkey giveaway, and the one thing that we have a problem with is the people that are like, oh, here's a hamburger.
Yeah.
Man, if you're not gonna do it without expectation, then just don't do it, bro.
That's in the Bible, right?
Don't do it for followers.
Yeah, I'm not a big Bible guy, but that's in the Bible. It's like you.
No, yeah.
You do that, you're taking away the glory from God, and you're giving it to yourself.
Yeah.
So that kind of bugs me when people do that.
Yeah, I hate that, man. I can't stand it.
And it's just a burger, like, give something better if you're gonna be taking photos of yourself.
Yeah, give one for your car or something, right?
Something picture worthy,
You give them your Gonzalo's hat, Chicano soul hat. No, I wouldn't give this away, bro.
Thank you.
So, I mean, what is, what am I trying to think of here? What is Chicano to you?
Oh man, that's, Chicano is there's no, real definition, I think. If you want to say like Mexican American, it's real simple. But like, I don't believe that you have to be Mexican American to be Chicano. You got people of different colors that respect the struggle. That you got Japanese, people that respect it. I believe. You got some other people that just want to dress it, put on like a costume and stuff like that. But I think Chicano is a feeling. It's just what you have, is what you grew up around. You got like JD and an American Me. You got this crazy white guy. But
yeah, you got Sylvester in Colors.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So you got it. You got it right there. You don't have to speak Spanish. You know, you don't have like these check. I don't know. I just think it's just.
I suck at Spanish.
Yeah, I'm not the greatest. Yeah, yeah. That was another thing about growing up. Your mom and your grandma talking shit about you in Spanish, but you're like, what are you talking about?
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah, my skin, huh?
Yeah, like I think no matter you hit it on the nail on the head. Like no matter if you're Salvadoreño, you're from Nicaragua, no matter where you're from, Puerto Riqueño, Dominicano.
Yeah, if you relate to it.
If you relate to it, you're Chicano.
Yeah, and who am I to tell you you're not?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, what qualifications do I have that I can be like, no, you're not Chicano enough?
Yeah.
And who's gonna tell me that?
Who am I to judge you? Who am I to put you in?
Right. You know,
I think
like,
that's
what
a problem
authority do I have?
With like social media nowadays? You know, like too many people think they have the
The
authority
gatekeepers.
because I got 160K followers, so I'm gonna tell you you're not Chicano.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
So.
You need at least 175,000.
Yeah, there you go. You know, but
you gotta reach
excuse
that
my language.
threshold.
You know, but
I bet you didn't curse.
yeah, I try not to. But when I see things like
Really upset you.
like Nike Cortez being pushed and it's a guy tying a shoe and it looks like my lawyer instead of my homie.
Yeah,
you know,
it's George Costanza. You know who George Costanza is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you do? All right, cool. No soup for you. You know, so yeah, I mean, I have issues with that, you know, and that's another thing that Esteban and I were talking about yesterday was how and we talked about it today earlier, is the cholo style, you know, it's being, I think it's being gentrified.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, you know, I won't get all crazy into detail, but I think it's, when you talk about like appropriation and you're talking about people who dress the part and they've never gone through, you know, I grew up in the 80s, I grew up in the 90s, went to junior high in the early 90s where if you dressed a certain way, you were looked at, you know, at that time it was probably like Dickie overalls and stuff like that, but you'd probably be mistaken for like a tagger or something like that, so you better be prepared to answer, you know, when they ask you where you're from, stuff like that, you know. But now it's kind of like, I think there are times where we appropriate ourselves, you know, so people are putting on these outfits. They have no idea what they're wearing, but I don't see a lot of them getting called out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's interesting, you know. And like again, who am I to judge whatever? But I do think it's interesting that, you know, they don't get called out on.
Yeah, it was back in my day.
Oh, well, yeah, way back there. Yeah.
Both of you, you know, you wore Cortez, you were poor. You know, you wore British Knights.
Oh, man, now they're like $70.
Yeah, you wore Lottos, you wore British Knights.
I was never that poor.
Elise. You know,
I wore British Knights, but not Lottos.
You know, you wore Ben Davis. You know, but what they don't know, like, and we talked about this with MC Pancho, like, that was like, man, I had to put that on layaway. You know, like, we couldn't get that, and now it's just out there. Like,
yeah, Cortez were like 29. The nylon, the blue one, they're like $29.99 back then.
Yeah.
You know, and now they're like $70.
Now you need to put them on layaway.
Yeah, now you need
Chucks,
payment
you know,
plan. Yeah.
Chucks nowadays, you know, it's like.
I have an aunt that still wears Nike Cortez, and now she's like, I can't find them because everybody has them now.
Yeah.
Shout out to
you gotta go to Nordstrom now.
Yeah.
You know?
You'll find them on Nordstrom.
Then they do got them.
No, I don't know.
They do got Cortez, yeah. But they got the
rose gold one.
Yeah, the special edition, limited edition, rose gold. Man, you were rose gold in junior high. You get my ass beat, bro.
Yeah.
So,
well, not me. I wouldn't wear that, but.
Yeah, no one's gonna beat your ass.
No.
But you know,
you're
it's
famous, man.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, I'm afraid of your grandma too. I'm not touching you.
Yeah. So I mean, it's crazy how it's the style now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool style. I've always liked it, and you know, it's timeless, and it, you know, some of those photos, it reminds you of a certain time period where you were, where you grew up, and that's its own thing. But now it's like a different thing. It's a different time for like you. I don't think you could just put that on and unless you live through it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people I see, you know, chasing the 90s, that whole idea, but it's like if you weren't there, it's not the same. You know, you didn't live through all that stuff. You didn't get chased home. You didn't get, you know, hit up when you're just waiting for the bus after school.
I've been chased home. Yeah.
You know, yeah, because you're old. But I'm saying if you're young, you know, things are different now. You know, now you get hit up on Instagram. You know, back then you used to get hit up in real life. You know, where you from?
Yeah. Now the keyboard gangsters.
Right, it's different.
You know, so yeah, I mean,
But it was still a good time.
Yeah, it was a great time. I wouldn't change anything from my experiences, you know.
Yeah.
The music, NWA, you know, EPMD.
Yeah, you got to chill.
Yeah, you got to chill. Yeah. So.
Now the whole West Coast sound.
For Art here?
I think he answered it. Just wanted to know what can we expect from you this year?
Not much.
I'm still going at my own pace.
You know, just taking
we'll
it
see
easy.
him here 3 times out of the week. So.
I'll just see you sad this weekend, okay?
Yeah,
We'll
don't
talk
expect
about it
much,
tomorrow.
I won't let you down. How's that? I won't promise much. Yeah.
That's a good answer.
That's good. I'm gonna use that. Don't expect much from me, and I won't let you down.
I won't let you down.
Yeah, I like that.
No, I don't know. I'm trying to do more shows. I'm hoping to show here later in the year, so let's put that on record.
Yeah.
Make you promise that right now, but no. I'm just trying to get out more, get out to more shows, show some more stuff, have some new photos. I'm hoping to travel more, just get out and collect photos from different, cities and see what the culture's like in, let's say, in somewhere in New Mexico, or somewhere in Texas, or.
You were recently in Paso, right?
Yes, I was invited to do a show in September, and I drove out there, took the pieces. They were up there for a couple months, and on the way back to pick them up, I invited my mom to go with me, and she wanted to ask, but she didn't want to, intrude. But when I asked her, she was so excited. And she was born in El Paso. My grandparents came to LA in '56. She was about 2.5 years old or so, and so she hadn't been back to El Paso since 1974.
Oh wow!
And she had a friend that she went to junior high with, Nightingale, out in Cypress Park. They went to junior high together in the mid to late '60s, and her friend Norma moved to El Paso, I think in the '80s. So she hadn't seen her friend in over 30 years or something like that, So this weekend we go. It's my older sister Darlene and my mom, me, 3 of us drive out there. 12-hour drive. It was a great weekend. She got to see her friend. Now they're, they go from junior high to 50 years later. Now they're on their iPhones, exchanging pictures of the grandchildren.
Oh, are you on Facebook?
Yeah, they're on Facebook. So
you got a moco space.
So it's real cool. She had a great weekend. 12-hour drive was like nothing because we're laughing at everything and ourselves, and we had a great time. I went 12 years without speaking to my mom and without speaking to my siblings, but this was a piece of cake. This 12-hour drive. I told them on the Sunday before we came back, like, people will say like, I'm never going anywhere with you again, but for me it's like, I'm never going anywhere without you guys, because we had such a great time. We're in the same hotel room and we didn't, get on anyone's nerves and nothing. We just laughed at everything.
So you made up a year for every hour.
Yeah, that whole 12. I don't know what I said at that time, but it was like, this whole 12-hour drive. Like, I don't know what it was, but it was like, whole 12 years wasted. Because now I have nieces and I have a nephew that I didn't know. And now I'm meeting them all at one time. My daughter's now in the picture. The last time my mom had seen my son, he was 6 years old. Now he's 19 years old.
And bigger.
and a lot bigger, So it's been great. It's been great to reconnect with them. And my younger sister did tell me, if you do this shit again, I'm going to kick your ass. But she's gangster.
Good.
Yes, And she peer pressures me into drinking. But
blame it on the sister.
Yeah, no, for real. Let's see if you can hang with her. I'll bring her by one day. She was here yesterday, choking me in the car. But no, it's been great to be back with the family.
That's awesome.
And
That's awesome.
to create these new memories.
And I see the smile on your face.
I think I'm smiling. Yeah.
Carlos even said, man, that guy's nicer now.
Yeah. No, I posted a picture up yesterday, and there was some ugly rumor going around that I don't smile, and I was like, I smile.
Yeah.
So no, it happens.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's happening these days,
You guys might be related. Joe's got a lot of family in El Paso, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great place, and with that history, we go back there, and when I first went, it was really cool because I reached out to my grandpa's old high school, Bowie High School. Shout out to the Bowie Bears, and I asked about donating a copy of my book to their library. And they were like, well, we'll do you one better. How about you speak to students? And I was like, oh, shit. I was, nervous. I don't really do that. So I say, I'm out there to have a good time. Let's do it, So I go out there. It's like 3 classrooms. Like 60 students are in the room, And I walk into the library and I'm like, oh, shit, all the pressure, They bring out the mariachi.
Come on, sorry.
The mariachi comes out and starts playing like an opening, for me. And I'm like, oh, dude, So I have a little slideshow and stuff, show my photos and talk about, photography and stuff. But to be there, I mean, it was a different campus from when he was a student, but still, to be on those grounds and to be in a school, like, he's been gone 12 years, you know, but to be where he maybe, you know, not exactly, but, man, it was a great feeling.
I bet.
To do that, you know.
Yeah, I bet.
The principal came out. I told him that my grandpa always carried a Bowie Bears cap in the back of his Monte Carlo. He, you know, 50 years later, out of high school, he still repped the Bears. You know, his high school, you know. And they gave me a cap. They gave me a T-shirt.
That's
you know,
awesome.
it was real cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that might be like one of my favorite experiences because, like I said, I didn't expect to do any of this. I just like fell into it. But to be able to do things that mean a lot and it just come out of nowhere, that's probably one of my biggest accomplishments.
That's awesome,
I'd say,
brother. Yeah, I respect that. And speaking on El Paso and being from Sur Califas, I got one question. Whataburger or In-N-Out?
Neither. How do you like that? Tommy's. How about that?
Oh,
How about that?
Take that.
Take
In-N-Out
that.
and Whataburger.
I'm not really an In-N-Out guy.
Really?
My son loves it. I don't
How about
really care for it.
Whataburger? You don't like Whataburger?
I think I tried it on a trip because I think they also have them in Arizona.
Uh-huh.
I went out to Tucson one time and I think they have them out there. It's not my thing. But I grew up, Tommy's on Rampart, you know. That's where it's at for me.
Tommy's. I mean, Tommy's is...
But I
Shizzle.
I can't really have Tommy's anymore. It's like a lot of sodium. But I love it.
Sodium, folks.
Sodium
is
when
a
you get
word we
old.
use
Yeah,
when you're
you get
old.
old, you learn the word sodium and high blood pressure. You know, oh, man.
It just goes to show how real we keep it. Nicole had to step away for a phone call.
I thought she had gas.
Yeah, I think that too, but I think her
I didn't want to say.
Sancho call or something. I don't know. So
What did Carlos tell you?
yeah, Carlos talks a lot.
This is like my fifth one.
So I have one last question for you.
That's what you said 5 questions ago.
Yeah. So the menu here.
You want
we
me to,
have
you want me to rearrange
food
it?
and drink.
You want me to change it up?
Yeah.
All right.
Your favorite. First name your favorite lowrider.
Oh man, that's tough because I think if I can sell enough prints, enough to ever afford one, I think I'd go with like a '49 Chevy.
All right.
It's beautiful, you know. Yeah, let's go with that one for now before I change my mind.
All right.
But with '59 is also nice, beautiful Impala.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
62s are nice.
62s are beautiful.
Yeah, especially when they're like cardboard and you know.
Favorite
Not
oldie?
cardboard, it's wood. What am I talking about?
Favorite oldie?
Oh, I don't know. There's some Joe B, maybe. I suck at these because there's
He
so many.
is
good
not
songs.
old.
No, I'm not old. You know what? But yeah, it just my dad grew up. I don't know when he grew up. When I grew up, he had a lot of that stuff playing. I suck at favorite band. I suck at favorite song because there's so much good stuff out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to narrow it down.
Yeah. As long as you didn't say Tekashi 6ix9ine, we're good.
I don't even know who that is or what that is.
Favorite food item on the menu?
The menudo, yeah, it's your
All
grandma's
right.
recipe, right? With the
My
bolillo.
grandma's recipe, yeah.
Yeah, I think we said that like 5 times.
Favorite
but-
drink?
Okay, so when I don't drink, like it'll be the cucumber water. I can have those over and over and over. But when I am drinking, it'll be the breast chango.
All right.
Yeah, I was
I
here
just
Saturday. I had like
finished-
3 of them.
I just finished and I'm feeling
They
pretty
must
good.
be better with the saladito inside, but I wouldn't know. Mine came.
Shout out
with
to
that one
Jen.
one time. Yeah. I'm not bitter or upset about it at all.
No, not at all. Well,
I just felt
sorry, I
like
have a
chipped.
salito in my mouth.
Hey, do your thing.
But want to thank you again for
2019.
taking time out of your day to be here with us.
Thank you.
If you don't follow them, man, make sure you follow them. Chicano Soul, Chicano _ Soul.
SOUL. Yeah.
Many
If you're still
blessings.
listening to
Yeah,
this
no,
right now,
I'm
you haven't tuned out.
Many blessings.
Thank you, sir.
Mad respect.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yeah. And we'll see you tomorrow.
I'll be here tomorrow.
All right.
That's my first day, right?
Taco Tuesday.
Taco
Taco
Tuesday.
Tuesday. For all you out there,
My first shift.
ahí te guacho y nos vemos pronto.
That's right.